Alright, boss. So this is my simple Photoshop interface, and I'm using this picture called. I want to show a few things, but regardless, we'll start over again and discuss on how to use Photoshop as a beginner. Right, sweet and simple. So now, when you open your Photoshop, I believe we have installed the Photoshop already. So now, when you open your Photoshop, there are a few things you'd see. You see file, you see edit, you see image, you see layer, you see style, select, filter, 3D, yada yada yada. All those things, most of them you can also get them from here. Right? Focus on my mouse. This guy. So now we have number one, we have direction. If you left click, that selects. If you right click, you have other options. Now this is artboard, this is move to. Now this artboard is, look at this, artboard 1, artboard 2, artboard 3. When you click on any artboard, let's say I'm clicking on artboard 3, look at this guy, he has turned straight to artboard, so you can now add. Do you get? That's just how it is. Then if you want to change it back to select, because if you want to select anything to move anything, it has to be on selection. So for you to select from any of these guys, any of these tools, there are other options on that. You have to right click it, right? To select it straight up, left click, right? Now for this one, this is rectangular tool, right? You make a selection of a shape, and when you're done, what it does is you make selection. Let me just show you. So you can make selections like this, and you have that selection in square, which most times we don't necessarily use it like that, right? Because there are other tools you can use. So what you do, Control D is deselect. So you remove it. Now, this is one of the tools you would love to use, especially as a graphic designer that wants to be cropping out content. Now, this is a lasso tool. It's for cropping. If I want to crop out an image, right? So let me say I import an image. Let me import an image ASAP so that we can see. So let's say download, I import this image, right? I import this image, right? And it enters, boom. If I have lasso tool, what I would do is, if I'm clicking on it like this, let me zoom in, you know? So if I'm clicking on it like this, if I'm dragging, if you left click down and drag, right? When you click down and drag, let's just say I do it like this. I already have this place selected. And if I click here, this bad boy here, it removes only that side. You see, so Control Z, Control D. Right? That's how you use lasso to crop out some things, right? From an image. But let's say I want to crop out this whole image. If you were using 2015 Photoshop, this is what you would have used. But thank God there is other ways you can remove the background automatically. Then if you right click, you have polygon lasso tool, which is my best. If you're cropping out an image that your auto background remover might not recognize, you can use polygon lasso tool. Once you left click, polygon is for shapes now, box related shapes. Once you left click, you follow through. You can also use it for an image that is not giving you, that's an image that is in the family of polygons: square, octagon, nonagon, hectagon, all the guns, right? All of them are gunners. Yeah. Right? So once you do all those stuffs and you come back here like this, you see, to show you something like 0. Once you click it, it gives you this, right? If you have it, we have this side overhead now. Do you understand? But if you notice, it's very sharp. Why? It's because it's for polygons. It's not for tools that are round. So after you remove background, or if you want to do something that is related to square, that is when you can use tools like this, right? So good. Now we have the next one, which is object selection tool. Object selection tool is if you want to select objects and move it together, right? So let me show you. So let's say this is my picture, say my time will come, and I do like this, boom. If you check, can't find object, okay, when we select them, 1, right? And I do object selection, boom, it has this guy already, right? And it's selecting them. All these are just for like the selection and all that stuff, but at the same time, doesn't necessarily matter because we don't use it in our day-to-day flyer creations like that, especially for this object selection tool, right? So yeah, on to the next. So on to the next again. right? We have crop tool. Now this crop tool is if you want to crop an image, but crop tool doesn't work like your normal Google crop tool. Crop tool crops the whole thing, right? See, it crops the whole artboard. And so if you want to crop an image, you need to take it to another workspace. This is one workspace. If you want to open another workspace, let's say, let me use this carousel, right? Let me use this carousel. If you want to open another workspace, okay, this is already it. Is this it? Okay, yeah. Let me open another one. Let's say I open this guy. Now this is another design. This is another design here, right? This is workspace. This is workspace 1. This is workspace 2, right? So let's say if you want to crop, you need to crop it in another workspace, then save it, then bring it into your workspace normal so that you can crop that image, because crop tool in Photoshop crops the whole artboard, not just the image, right? So that's that about that. That's very simple. If you right click, there's nothing on here. Okay, there's something actually. There's perspective crop tool, slice crop tool, slice select tool. Now all these are under the main. If you say perspective crop, now what you do is could not use the perspective crop tool because the image contains unsupported layers, blah 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 blah. Now if you were using an actual image, let's say for example you're using an actual image that is not a design, I want to crop it. Perspective crop is like you're cropping it in one kind angle, right? You're cropping it from one very, very funny angle that is ununderstandable. Now, if you let's click here, you have slice to. Slice to is normal slice, right? Just to slice something, right? And just you see, right? So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, you will figure that out as much as we go, right? In this object selection, there's quick selection too, which I love, right? This if you want to select somebody ASAP. Once you click like this, you have the selection. So you can just draw over you can just draw over your subject and it will immediately select the person, right? The smaller the circle, the better the detail, right? So object selection too. Then there is magic wand. Magic wand is if you want to remove backgrounds, or it's more like if you click on this now. Okay, let me see. Let me select the image. Let me select this image. Magic wand. If you click on it like this, all the white, if I want to remove it, I can just remove it and just select and marks and all that stuff. But I'm not going to do that. But now you get the point, right? Control D to deselect if you are following me exactly as I'm doing it. Now the next one is frame tool. Frame tool is if you want to frame something, like not frame like arrest somebody. So if you want to add extra frame to a picture, right? If you want to add extra frame on top of a picture, if you notice here, there's already frame, right? If you close it, you have that, right? So that is actually mostly for photo editors, people that edit pictures, right? Yeah. So in case they want to add extra frame to a picture, and I believe sometimes that doesn't work with AI though. That doesn't work with AI. So I don't know. I don't think it works with AI. I think I might have done something that I will just correct later on. Oh yeah, you get the point. See how everything is all inside one key. But yeah, on to the next. Right, let's go on. The next one is eyedropper 2. Eyedropper 2 is to copy colors, right? And you would use it, I don't think you use it on your own like that. It's more like when you want to select color. Let's say we use this guy now, right? And want to select color, right? If you come here, you see the eyedropper 2 ASAP, right? And you're already here. So it's not something that you on your own just click and want to use, right? So from there now you can now, see, you can now click. If I click black, you see the color turns black. If I click red, it turns red. If I click back to my let's go white, it turns white, right? That's it. That's just how it goes. Okay, on to the next. Yeah, on to the next. We have this one called This one is called spot healing. It's also for photographers, right? If you want to remove something like injuries from people's face, just do your thing, just click, and well, this is for flyer designs, right? So yeah, now the next one is brush tool. Brush tool is one of the best tools you would need, especially if you are. Let me select a layer first. Let me select this image. Right, let's work with this image. Okay, we're working with this image, right? So for your brush tool, now this image is selected, right? And look at the color. This is the color we're having. Now there are tones. There's mode, there's normal, there's dissolve, there's clear. Now if you press, because of this, if I click on this, you see black ASAP. So brush tool is obviously brushes, right? So you can have clear. Clear is to clean a place, right? You can clean the image, right? So the reason why you're seeing white in the background and a bit of black is because if I close this image, there is half black here, half white. Right? If I remove this and I clean, you see white, that's the black there. That's why I put the black there, right? I believe you understand already. So on to the next, we have under this brush, we have pencil tool, we have color replacement tool, we have mixer brush. Now this mixer brush is for people editing photos, right? This is flyer design something, right? So yeah. So now pencil tool is not much of any use, right? It's more like you're drawing, you get. So it's if you want to draw after round one, anyways. Yeah, clone tool is it's one of the best tools you can use also as a photographer. If I want to remove this guy, could not use clone stamp because the area to clone has not been defined. Okay, now let me show you. If you click here, you see alternate click to define a source point. So if you want to use your clone tool, what you do is let me zoom in because I want to remove this guy. Give an example. Once you click on alternate on your keyboard and you click, right, and you click somewhere else, you see it clones it automatically, right? Clones it automatically. I now have two batches. See, works like magic, right? So that's just how it works for clone tool. Then you have the next, which is history brush. That is like showing you history and all that stuff, which I think you can find somewhere around one of these guys here. It's not necessary actually for me for graphic design. Eraser tool is if you want to erase, which obviously you can do with your brush tool, right? This brush tool here, right? Yeah. So now, how to reduce your brush and increase your brush? Shortcuts. It's simple. It's that you press if you notice, there's after your P button in your keyboard, the button immediately after P is to reduce, and the button immediately after P. If you understand what I'm saying. Now there are two buttons after P, right? The first button after P is to reduce. The second button after P is to increase. Or you can just come here simply and click here, and you have size to reduce or increase, right? See? Or you can enter your specific size here, which is, let's say, 900, right? You see? So that's how it works. And for here, you can, increase the opacity of the strength of your clean in case if you don't want something very harsh. Most times I like to leave my own around 50 if I'm doing a very nice clean, right? Then the flow should always be 100, right? So yeah, or you can just use your short button. First button after P to reduce, second button to increase, right? We have that. Then we have the eraser tool. We have gradient tool. Gradient tool is simple. Once you just click here and drag, you have that, right? But at the same time, you can also come to here, FX, and not FX, right? You can come here, this guy here, and you have gradients. You can, Photoshop is vast. You can come here, you have gradient, and when you click on gradient, see this gradient is way better than that one, right? So I think I'm even going to use it. I think I'm going to use it. Yeah, it's nice. So I just adjust. Anyways, Yeah, that's how it goes. Right, that's how it goes. Yeah, let me just see if I adjust it. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, you can just adjust and be careful so you don't make mistakes, right? Yeah, that's it. That's it. And you're done. Right, that's it, and you're done. So on to the next, we have blur tool. This blur toolness, if you want to draw over a place and to blur, but I don't necessarily like going through it from there. It's simple, just draw over the place, it gets blurry, right? So but what I like to do is that I come over to filter and I go to blur, and there are other options. There's motion blur, there's version blur, all the Google tables of blurs, right? That's how you get it, right? Then on to the next one. We have um Dodge 2. Now Dodge 2 is for Dodge and Burn. It's also for photo editors, right? So you don't need to stress yourself. Now Pen 2 is it when you want to create logos, right? Or you want to create shapes. Now if you click here and drag. Now let me show you again so I don't confuse you. So now let's say we're working on this background here. So let me come back to select. Remember, if you want to pick something, click on select, click it here, close it, right? You come to your pen tool. Before you want to click on, so now let's come to pen tool. If you click a starting point, when you click the continuation point, don't leave it. Press down your left click and drag, right? Are you with me? Then if you leave this and you click another point, drag. Let's now say you click this point and you click here, it will close, right? So now this, if you notice, this is in shape. You can change it to, yeah, if you click it, you can change it to shape. You can make it path, right? A shape or path, shape, right? Shape you get. So this is shape now. You can change it to path. Most times it will be like one line or anything, right? So that's how it works. If you get, now I have a shape, I can just move around. If you want to create custom shapes, right? Then we have the next one, which is, if you click on this, you have freeform pen tool, which is actually, look at it. This is just to write, right? Just like your normal pen. But all these borders are actually, you can adjust them, right? But this is for flyer design, right? So we don't stress it, so I don't confuse you, right? Then we have this one, text. Text is very simple. Just click, touch your place, write your thing. It's showing white because my default setting for text is white, right? So if I click on this color and change it to black, you see what I wrote on my screen. Then remember, before you drag anything on your workspace, go back to select so that you can select it and drag it around. Are we together? So that's that about that. Then if you come down to your right, you can vertical, typical type, horizontal type. This is vertical type max 2. Every of your text to be like this, like how you're seeing it here. Horizontal type max, how you're seeing it here. Vertical type max is like if you're typing, it's going to be like this, right? Yeah, very simple, right? So that's about that. So remember, if I drop it like this, it will still show. So what I have to do is come to my what, select to. Are we good to go? That's that about that. Very simple and lovely. On to the next, we have our, okay, let me go back to normal text. I've scattered a lot of things. Let me go back to path selection. Now what path selection does is simple, right? Just you select your key. That's if you're working with your pen tool already. But remember, this is a tutorial for graphics design, so there are some things we might skip so I don't stress you. But as you keep learning, you would understand it more. Now this is rectangle tool, one of my best tools for shape. Once you click on it, rectangle tool, you have this, right? Just drag. You get, that's number one. Let's leave that. Come back to select so that you can drag this up. Now, if you right click, you see other options, rounded rectangle too. It's just the same rectangle, just the difference is that the edges are rounded, right? Look at it. Do you understand? Now I drag this up and I have a round edge. This is normal edge. Then if you right click again, you see an eclipse, right? Eclipse is like egg, right? But now what makes it more interesting is that if you hold down shift when dragging your eclipse, sorry, let me go back to it. If you hold down shift when dragging your eclipse, you can have a perfect circle, holding down shift, right? Perfect circle. Coming back here, then we have the last one, polygon 2. Polygon 2 is, wait, let me unselect this guy. We have polygon 2. Polygon 2 is like seeds. Polygon 2. Here, polygon 2, right? These are just random tools. Like that. That's like a line tool, then your custom shape. Custom shape, which you can also do with your pen tool. So they are quite interwoven. So allow me to get rid of this, guys, so that we can go on to the next one. I just leave this FFFF here. Now we have, let me go back to my defaults, this guy. Now we have hand tool, which is for you to drag around, which obviously you can have shortcuts for it, especially if you're using your mouse. What you do is, there are some people that don't use mouse. I don't know how they do it. Anyways, there's no way you can use, especially for people that are using laptop, right? Yeah. So if I drag now, I'm trying to drag, it doesn't work, right? But if I click on this hand tool, I can drag. Do you understand? But at the same time, if I don't want to use the hand tool, I can just, if I scroll up, in my mouse is going up. If I scroll down, it's going down. Now for this side movement, if I put my hand on control and drag up, it goes to this side. Still my hand on control and drag here, it goes like this, right? Then if I put my hand on alternate and I drag up, it's zooming. And I drag down, it's to zoom out, right? There's actually a tool for zooming, which is this magnifying lens. Right? When you click it, if you press plus, it will come. If you go here, you press minus and you press minus, it will go, right? These are just shortcuts. I think I'll do another video for shortcuts in Photoshop, right? Then these three are just to edit your toolbar. Are we together? Then this is where you choose your colors, especially if you're using your pen tool to paint. This one right here is to edit a quick marks tool, but remember, this is to change screen mode. Remember, we're using this for graphics design. Then on to the next again, we have files. Files is file, new, open, bridge, whatever. If you want to open a new project, right? Open is if you want to open a former previous project or you want to open an image. Browse in bridge is to open and check for your kini, just like this, right? If you have an Adobe whatever that you're using. Oh my god, I have lost wahala. Anyways, yeah. Adobe is so stubborn. Anyways, on to the next. We have this one where we have openers. Open smart objects, open recent. If you check recent, these are all the stuff I've been working on for a while, and they can clear. This is the recent here. If you press open, you see, okay, some of them, right? These are all the ones I've been working on, right? And they are there. So open is just normal shortcuts. This is if you want to export, this is export. Export as PNG, export as, right? Then there's revert, there's save as, right? So you have all these ones, and export, generate. This is place embedded. If you want to, sometimes if you're trying to import an image into Photoshop, it might not enter because probably there's too many workspace or your Photoshop is not agreeing with your decisions at that point. You can just come here and place embedded. And once you click on anything, it will automatically enter your workspace. Right? Are we together? Alternate, drag up, you zoom. Right? Alternate, drag up, you zoom. I see branding. Anyways, my selection tool is no more working. I'm coming. Yeah, it's working now. I had to just fix it from the motherboard. Anyways, right, that's that about that. Then we have on to the next. We have place embedded, place links, package, automate script, import. If you want to import layers and all that stuff. Then we have edit. This edit, let's work with an image, right? This edit is if you want to, these are all stuff that you have shortcuts for, and that will be the next one, right? Image, we have mode, we have adjustment. Mode is literally different color modes, right? But one of the things I love to do in image is adjustments. You have brightness and contrast, simple, right? Self-explanatory. We have levels, we have curves, we have exposures, we have bright, vibrance, hue and saturation, color saturation. All this like this are things that we'll still understand in other classes, right? Auto tune. This is automatically. Do you notice the difference? Did you notice the difference? Let me show you again. See? Then auto tune. It's just boom. You see? So sometimes color treatment or image treatment, Photoshop already helps you. Auto contrast, right? Automatically to contrast, but this image is already well contrasted, so you might not notice any difference. Auto color, it will still help you add small color, but this image already has a predominant color, which is black and white. I would get that. So on to the next, we have image size, canvas size. This is if you want to change your image size, right? And mind you, if you mess with this, you might mess with the quality here. But if you notice, the quality in this one has increased. Then image rotation, if you want to rotate your image, which at the same time you can just press on Ctrl T to transform and you just rotate from here, right? So it's the same thing. Then on the next one, we go to trim. If you want to trim your image, reveal all these things are confusions. So I will not be the one to confuse you because of the tutorial. We have clicked on this layer. We have all these bad boys. Adobe Photoshop. Okay, don't mind me. It's because I own Adobe and it's trying to act on some stuff. Anyways, yeah, these are the best. These are smart objects. These are all stuff that you would understand while we design an actual flyer from scratch. Are we together? Then this is type. This is if you want to check match fonts, which also works with your shortcut, so you don't get to stress yourself. This is select. Select is if you want to subject. Let me show you this image now. Once you press on select, know that when you are pressing on all these guys, you have something selected here. So at the end of the day, when we're working, you would notice that we'll really go here. We'll be working with here and shortcuts, right? Here, shortcuts in my keyboard, right? So this is here and we have filter, right? If you have select now, this is where you can, once you press on subject, just give it a few minutes or a few seconds, right? It will select subject. And if you press on this guy, look at the mouse, this guy, boom, see, no background. There's no background again. She gets very simple. Sometimes you have to work harder, especially if the image and the background is quite tricky. Do you understand? So I click on this guy because this is the image. Always remember, this is the image. If you double click on it, it will take you to another space, and that is where you can now crop. And once you press mark and Control S to save it, and you go back here, you will see that your image is cropped, right? But let's come back to the normal and remove this workspace. So now we have that, right? Are we together? That's the thing I told you in the beginning of the class, if you remember. So I believe you remember, or you can just go back and watch them. Then filter, this is where you edit your image, right? This is that blur, garage, distort, noise. If you want to add all these stuff to your image, if you want to sharpen your image, you can sharpen edges, you can sharpen more, you can smart sharpen. All these are automatic things it will do for you, right? Or sometimes you have to work on them by yourself, right? But all these stuffs you can also get them on the upcoming. You can also get them on the camera raw filter. Once you click on camera raw filter, all the options you need to edit, they are all there, right? They are all there from Google to go. Just it's loading. So once it loads, you have all the options there. You can work on it from beginning to the end, right? So that's how it works. Yeah, that's just it. You see, if you drag it in, sorry, it's not showing my page, but if I try to drag it in, yeah, you see all these options, right? See all these options like this. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, right? there are different options like that. Do you understand? Then that's just that for now. Let me leave you with this. Then in the other classes, I will do the remaining videos. Adios. Thanks, man.